Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible to all of you. Uh, we're just waiting for a couple of more minutes to allow everyone else to join in, and then we will start the session very shortly. Okay. Okay. So now we have more students joining in. Good evening, all of you. Welcome to webinar on the US-CMA course. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Anubhav Verma, Chartered Accountant, CPA CMA from United States, also holding diploma in IFRS from ACCA UK, and DISA from ICI Delhi. So I'm with EduPristine for almost 9 years now. Have been taking on all the international finance courses, CPA, CMA, CFA, or Indian accounting courses. Since ever. I'm also associate professor with a couple of colleges in Delhi, and also a guest faculty with Institute of Chartered Accountants. So guys, so I welcome you all on this webinar. We'll be walking you through a lot of discussion on interesting contents of this particular course. First of all, I would like to congratulate you all to be taking the right step or the first step in the right direction. Because if you are here for a reason to understand whether you should be doing a CMA or not. Now, let me tell you a very interesting fact. If you are thinking on that question that, okay, whether I should do CMA or not, you are thinking on a very wrong question. The correct question is whether I can afford not to do CMA in the present day scenario. We are talking about a lot of opportunities that may unfold once the pandemic settles in future. A lot of opportunities always flowing in from globally, from the various parts of the world, and a certification from US, that too of a CMA is something I would say definitely will be kind of an add-on onto your careers, guys. So good, guys. I'm glad that we are here to get some information. So first of all, I would like to give yourself a good round of applause to at least take the first step. So a warm welcome to everyone again. So guys, let's do this thing today. Okay, let me ask a question. First question for you all, and you guys can raise your hands on the Zoom, please. How many of you like cricket, guys? Can you please raise your hands on Zoom? Those of you like cricket. Okay, let's do that. Okay, I can see various hand raises right now. Somit, Abhinav, Vikas, Vineet, great. So guys, let's do one thing. Let's play a small 10 over match today. The rules are by default. I won the toss. I hope you don't mind that. I have won the toss and I have decided to bat. So first half an hour I will be batting. Next half an hour you will be batting. Make sense to everyone? Sorry, but I'm being a little bit impartial, but yeah, I wanted to bat first, right? Because you never know, the light may fade away. So I'm batting first. So let's talk about this. First 25 minutes or so, I'll be walking you through the presentation. A lot of information will flow in. A lot of your queries will be automatically taken care of in the subsequent slides. In the next 25 minutes, you will be asked to chase the score. You will be more than welcome to ask any questions on the Q&A panel, right? So let's rock on, guys. Right. So to start with, let's understand about the footprint about the IMA, our alma mater, which will be granting us the certification. So that's something that we need to understand from a perspective of the course, the certification. So we have almost more than 125,000 members in more than 150 countries here. You can see that almost every year, they have their global footprint almost every year, right? So and also not only about the I would say within pan India, but also globally, you have a representation across various universities and colleges, and you have almost, you can see that the member segment kind of comprises of both students and professionals here. So there is no I would say doubt in that perspective about the representation, reliability, and the credibility of the certification at all, right? So that's for sure. Now very interesting slide, guys. And I guess you all come from versatile background, right? So you may think that, okay, CMA karke what benefit I will get? Fayda kya hoga? Everyone is here for a reason. What benefit I will get? Now, some of you might be a student right now. Some of you might be already working. This is a certification which each and everyone will take away something from, in terms of benefit to your home. If you are let's say, already a working professional, you get a boost in your career with respect to a horizontal or vertical expansion, either in terms of a promotion or opening to various kinds of roles. If you are a fresher, you get a good break in your career in terms of initial breakthrough. So you can see, and at this one, you can see people like at a level of CEO and a CFO, are the people who kind of are kind of promoted to that level, who have this certification, financial controller, or even we talk about the basic introduction level. You talk about a cost accountant or a budget analyst, business analyst. Interesting fact, another one. You talk about any stream, guys. You talk about accounting. You talk about a factory setup in terms of cost accounting. You talk about FP&A, financial planning analysis. You can also think from a perspective of treasury, risk and governance, financial management decisions. All these streams. I think a couple of streams which are probably not here is of an auditor and tax. Of course, for that you need to have a professional degree, which also we provide at EduPristine, that's CPA, right? So apart from those two, everything else, you have a career option in any field you want to, right? So what are the steps to become a CMA? Completion of 2 exams sounds so easy, right? 2 exams, 2 steps. Of course, there is a lot of hard work that has to go through, right? The best part is the prerequisites, guys. There's hardly any prerequisite. What you need is just a bachelor's degree, and not that need not be a BCom or a commerce degree. It can be any bachelor's degree from accredited college or university, 2 years of relevant work experience. Now, I will talk about this in a while. This relevant work experience we'll talk about. This has to be related to finance, right? So we'll talk about this. And of course, an active membership in IMA, right? So that once you clear your exams, of course, you would definitely want to be a member of the body. Now, moving ahead, when we talk about how the exams are being administered, there are, of course, various computerized testing facilities globally. And generally, now before pandemic, the way the examinations window used to be like 2 months exams, 2 months no exams, 2 months exams, 2 months no exams. So Jan Feb mein exams hai. Then March, April mein there is no exam. May, June mein there are exams. July, August no, and September, October yes. But since the lockdown COVID impact, these windows have been more flexible. Exams have been almost on a continuous basis, few weeks off here and there. So of course, your testing facilities can actually give you a fair bit of idea when they are on. And also another interesting part is you can give the exams in any order. There are 2 parts, CMA part 1 and CMA part 2. You can give one first and then second, or second first, then one. Any order, guys. No problems at all. Okay. Now, at the bottom, you can see on an average, candidates complete the program within 12 to 18 months. Honestly speaking, I have been taking lectures for CMA in Delhi for almost last 7 years now. With EduPristine, of course, with other institutes, I have been also taking lectures before that. So I've been into this training since 2008, guys. 13 years of experience, I'm telling you. Various candidates I've seen have done CMA in around 10 months, 8 to 10 months. Seriously, if you plan it well, no part should take more than 4-5 months. Seriously, right? So I never kind of looked at a horizon even more than double digit, right? 10 or 11 months. That's a maximum stretch I normally tell students to go into. We'll tell you why, right? Now, this is our exam content for both the parts. And a very interesting observation, if you can make, is that there is no dependency, guys, in kind of a part one and part two. So this one is, of course, in terms of part one on the left hand side. So this is part two. So just let me kind of do that a little bit of a correction. So this is a part two here. So there is no kind of dependency here. So if you talk about accounting on the left hand side, you talk about the analysis on the right hand side. So there is no dependency. You can do part one first also. Here we have a FP&A. Again, we're talking about in terms of cost management. So there is the point here is, let me actually go to the next one so that there is no kind of confusion here. So these two slides here, this one and this one. So let's talk about this one by one. Part one, which is talking about a financial planning, performance, and analytics. Now, this particular slide here is talking about the elements in part one. Now, these are all sections here. So let me point out this section A, B, C, D, E, and F. Now, if I look at section A of part one, financial planning and performance and all. So we talk about here the financial statements, which talks about of external reporting and decisions. Now that means this section basically talks about from a perspective of an accounting. Guys, just give me a second. Can you just give me a second, please? Can you just confirm if you can see the screen here? And there's some problem here when I'm looking at the Zoom. Can anyone confirm? Can you please raise your hands if you can see the screen, if you can see the slide? Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Just give me a second. Let me share this again. Just give me a second. I'm just kind of opening that presentation again because I could see there was some issue while I was presenting the screen here. Okay, so okay, I think now it's better. There was an overlap in the slide. I just need to also ensure, guys, can you just double check if you can see this now? I hope this is completely viewable, right? Okay, great. So guys, I was talking about two sections. So the first one, which is talking about the external reporting and all, so section A, section B, section C, D, E, and F. Right. So if I'm looking at an aspect of external financial divisions, reporting and all, we are looking at various aspects in terms of accounting, in terms of planning and budgeting. So section A, you're talking about proper accounting. So there we talk about a US GAAP in terms of a US GAAP. Now, in terms of section B, we talk about a lot of FP&A, financial planning analysis, budgeting. Okay, let me ask you guys, and I think some of you might be working. Can you tell me what is the first budget an organization would make? First budget, guys. What shall be the first budget? Any thoughts? What will be the first budget, guys? Okay, you can respond on the Q&A, please. You can respond on the Q&A. Okay, sale budget. Sumit, why we are talking about a sale budget here? Why we are talking about a sale budget onto the section B? I believe that unless and until we are talking about how much units to be sold, only then you will be planning the production, guys. So we're talking about the top line, right? Perfect answer. So we're talking about the sales budget. Now, this particular section talks about how the budget kind of various types of budgets flow into the system. You have a sales budget, then you have a production budget, then you have in terms of purchase budget, labor budget, expense budget, capital budget, financial statements, budgeted financial statements. So all that comes under section B. Section CMA, you have a lot of costing and variance analysis. And section D talks about further extension of that same with respect to costing systems like absorption, ABC, and all that. Section E talks about of internal control. Section F talks about of IT. Now, this is very important, guys. Section F, this was expanded in the last 2 years a lot. Now, both these part 1 and part 2. Now, look at that. Now we'll compare one by one section. Section A of part 1 talks about of accounting, US GAAP, financial statements, what do we all record, leases and all that. Now, what about part 2 section A, guys? What about part 2 section A? Yahan par we are talking about financial statement analysis. That means we are talking about a lot of ratios. So you have this ratios, and we are also talking about some aspects related to Forex. So there is no interrelationship or dependency ki aap, you first do for a part 1 and then only you can do part 2. You can do part 2 first and you can go to part 1 as well. Look at the next one. This section B is the most important, guys. Corporate finance. You have a financial management, risk and return, a lot of financial models with respect to hedging, derivatives, working capital management, a very important section here. Decision analysis. Now look, you had costing in part 1. You're costing at part 1. Here you are talking about contribution, break-even point, marginal analysis. It's not that you can't do this before you actually do a part 1. Again, there is no interdependency, guys. So you can do that again, that's section C. Now look at the section D here, risk management. Now this is very interesting. Section E of part 1 is internal controls, and the section D of part 2 is enterprise risk management. Both are kind of pretty much similar topics, but that one is about controls. This one is about the risk stages. And then we talk about, okay, I think let me ask you a question here. How many of you have seen the company's annual reports? Can you please raise your hands on the Zoom? How many of you have seen company annual reports, guys? And if you have seen annual reports, do you agree that in the initial section of the pages before the financials start, you have directors' responsibility statement, and they talk about the risk concerning their businesses. They talk about the strategies they have adopted to kind of cover those risks. You have all those discussions in the first initial pages, MD&A, part of MD&A, management discussion analysis, right? So all that discussion is actually something which flows out from the ERM framework, right? Section E here talks about a capital budgeting, the best part, right? We talk about a lot of NPVs, IRRs, and payback periods. What are the capital budgeting techniques? Now, why capital budgeting techniques? Why investing decisions are very important, guys? Why they're very important? Very logical, right? Because you have scarce capital. These decisions are irreversible. And then we talk about professional ethics. Can you become a CMA without even understanding the professional ethics, guys? I don't think so, right? You need to know the ethics. Very important. Okay, so that's part 2, guys, strategic financial management. Now, from a perspective of, the institute, when we talk about our institute, of course, we need to understand, our Institute of Management Accountants is, the way they support the profession, of course, in terms of, I would say a lot of discussion from a perspective of certification. Of course, that is a very, very basic taken for granted thing. Then we talk about updating the members in terms of continuing education, CP hours. There are a lot of research and publications, and of course the global acceptable, community over there. Now, what are the benefits of obtaining a CMA here? So of course, you talk about the median compensation, right? So you talk about the cost benefit, returns. If you kind of invest even a lakh or even a lesser or a slightly more amount than that, the payback is literally quick, right? And of course, when we talk about compare a postgraduate without a CMA and a postgraduate with a CMA qualification, of course, your median compensation will be obviously much more, right? And you can see the second point, global CMAs earn 50% more than without the same. And of course, if you kind of compare yourself or existing opportunities with the ones what we will be talking about later, you will see the difference yourself, guys. Now, the value of CMA, of course, we talk about a prestigious, professional, rigorous, empowering, and competent, degree or a certification in terms of credibility is concerned, in terms of privilege is concerned, right? Once you are CMA certified, the way the entire globe will looks upon you as a professional. They expect, okay, that this credential has all these features, attached to them, right? So now who should get a CMA? Of course, as I said, it's for everyone, guys. Now, whether you are already a professional working at certain level, you want some expansion in your existing role, or you talk about, starters, freshers, they can obviously, they're most welcome. They can plan this certification and then, kind of take a good launch pad for their careers. And also people who want to, horizontally expand themselves, want to distinguish themselves and make themselves, kind of ready for management decision making prospects. Of course, those should be the one. Now, you can see an example here, the requirements of a CMA here coming from Amazon here. Now, this is a little bit old requirement here, where they require a BCom plus CMA, certain requirements at across the levels. I told you that you are most welcome with respect to opportunities at different levels here. And of course, we have been there in the Forbes magazine with respect to how the IMA helps in terms of the CSR, corporate social responsibility, in terms of assisting various sections of the different societies, right? Now, a very important aspect when we talk about from the study partner perspective, why we are talking about here. Of course, we believe that, okay, Beckers is a #1 trustworthy publication with respect to any qualification, whether it's a CMA or a CPA. Becker has to be #1. Now, about Becker, of course, we are talking about a global leader. And it has been into existence for more than 60 years now. And trust me, guys, I'm myself a Becker's product. So this is something which kind of the user-friendly approach. It helps the focus to be maintained on the key areas and the examination style questions, a lot of practice. Literally, if you kind of true to your own methodology, there is, no one can beat you. Now, of course, with respect to the footprint of Beckers itself, you can see that over 1 million candidates have already prepared, and all the big companies who have tie-ups for these certifications and qualifications, they are also preferring Becker as one of them. And of course, from an offering perspective, of course, now you have a hard copy book, you have an ebook, some certain number of months of software access. Now, the most important part for me is the number of questions they give you for practice, right? Now you have two parts, right? We talk about those two parts in a while, but for clearing those two parts, you have more than 2,500 MCQs to be practicing, 70 essay type questions, and even the flashcards. And the best part is, for each part, you have at least 2 mock exams. And of course, as and when you are practicing, your progress gets reflected. So it's very important, when you talk about, what exactly we will be covering in at all, right? So with EduPristine, of course, apart from the Beckers publication, of course, we are helping you guys with the lectures. We, of course, before COVID, we used to have both online and offline. Now, at certain centers, we have started offline lectures as well, but yeah, there are still online batches going on. And of course, there are different teams. Our coordinators get in touch with you. In case you miss out any online lectures, you have access to recordings as well. So, of course, with EduPristine, again, coming part of a global group, that's Adtalem Education. That's also, speaks it all. We are part of a global group, and definitely that adds to the credibility as well. So how these lectures are kind of spread across. So this is almost 175 plus, so close to 180, 190 hours of training for both the parts. And all the members have industry experience. So for example, I am one of the lead faculties for CMA in Delhi. So I take, I myself come from experience in, working in companies like KPMG, ENY, Whirlpool, EXL Services. I have worked for almost 10 to 12 years while I was training on weekends. Right? So that's something very interesting here. And of course, this is more from a live online training. So the last slide with respect to it was more from a classroom training, but this is online. So we have both the kind of structures here. And of course, with respect to a fee structure, I would say that yes, this is something which our coordinators will get in touch with you, whatever the fees is with respect to your what exactly you have to pay. But I think the most interesting part is that you can see the duration 7 to 8 months, and also you have different batches. So if you have a day batch, you have an evening online batch. So classroom trainings are generally on a Sunday, either 9 to 2 or 10 to 3, or then you have a week online classes happening both Saturdays and Sundays. Don't worry about the fees. Our coordinators will get in touch with you for any kind of early bird offers or payment of any kind of in installments. So those facilities are available. Don't even worry about that. Okay, let me also talk about the examination. Also just give me a second. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going back onto the slide with respect to the course coverage. Now, when we talk about this examination content, it's important to understand the way the examinations are administered. Okay, let me ask you, those of you who are here, I'm sure you would have done some research. What are the passing marks for us for CMA each part? Any thoughts, guys? What are the passing marks? What are your thoughts? You can use Q&A to respond. So you have a part 1 exam. You have a part 2 exam. Now both the parts are 4 hours each. And we have a 3 hours, 100 MCQs, and 1 hour, 2 case studies. These are more or less with respect to 30 minutes each. These case studies have they give you information about a company, and you generally require to have like around 5 to 6 questions for each of those case studies. So that's something which is very important. Now when we talk about from a perspective of examination, right? So when we're talking about 2,500 MCQs, we're talking about almost 70 plus case studies. What exactly do you need more, right? With that practice kind of a setup, right? Do you need anything more? Because I personally believe that although the passing marks with respect to each part is a 360 upon a 400 or a 500, that is coming out to be as a 72. But what we believe is we prepare candidates in a sense that they score at least 80, 85 plus before they appear in the exam, because we want to keep a buffer here. We want to keep a margin of safety. Why we need to target 72? We need to target around 80 plus, so that you guys are safe in the examination. And that's where the 2,500 MCQs and also 70 plus case studies help. And not only that, for each part, we have at least 2 mock exams that will kind of make you examination prepared. But we always focus that, okay, students should be kind of doing the course first time and then a couple of revisions so that, you reach that particular expertise level. So we work with the students very hard. We push them. We also have, mentorship sessions as and when required with respect to any kind of a doubt solving. So that's very important, guys. So I hope you guys got to know the idea of how the examination is structured. And best part is that, okay, you don't need to appear in any sequence. You can do part 2 first or part 1 first. That's one thing. If you look at the total coaching spanning around 7 to 8 months, that means for each part the training is around 3 to 4 months, but it depends on the student. I've seen students who have been pretty much accurate parallel to the batch. They have prepared, they have completed the course in 3 months, and they've done a couple of revisions in 1.5 months, and they appear within 4 to 5 months. So that depends entirely on you, whether you want to. Also have seen students that there are 6 sections, section A, B, C, D, E, F. You want to cover some sections along with the class, some sections you have some background, you want to also complete that independently. That's not a problem, because you want to accelerate your course duration, right? Some people want that, okay, we want to do CMA within 6 months, and people have done that, right? I've seen students who have qualified both the parts there, right? So that's the best part about this, that of course when we talk about 100 MCQs, you are just playing a pehchan kaun, like you have answer in front of you and you have to identify just one answer over there. It's objective type, so 25% you're already there. And case studies is something you need to practice. It's like they give you a particular abstract of information of a company. On that basis, they will ask you 5 to 6 questions. Could be theory, could be computational. So very, very interesting, guys. And again, it's all up to you. If you're here for a reason, I guess, very important that you kind of know the statement that, bitterness of a poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low prices forgotten. So of course, we understand that if you kind of take this for granted and you don't take care of your preparation, of course that could pain a bit. But yes, but at the same time, opposite also very true, that the more you kind of sweat in practice, the less you bleed in the war, right? I'm sure you have heard this statement. So it's very important that you guys, if taken the first step very correctly in the right direction, that yes, you want to be a CMA. Don't even think when it comes to education, if you're confused, yes or no, answer has to be by default yes. You never know when this certification will pay you off. So I think my innings is over, guys. I've just taken around 27 minutes. I promise that first 10 hours will be played by me. Thank you all. This is the email ID in case you want to ask any questions, care@edupristine.com. And now is your turn, guys. Any questions, please let me know. Q&A panel, you can ask your questions, please. And I hope you were here for a reason and you got all the answers to all the information you were looking for. Payment methodology, what are the fees and all, that is something anyways. So this particular slide talked about various fees for a professional and a student. But I would say that this is something you can directly talk with respect to your EduPristine coordinators, that what are the various facilities, right? So any questions, guys? Please ask me your questions on the Q&A panel, please. Any questions from Abhinav? Okay, let me read out names here. We have more than 15 candidates. Let me read out few names. Abhinav, Vineet, Bal, Somit, Vikas. Any questions, guys? Any questions? And also, you wanted to acquire some information that did you find the session helpful? Anything you want me to add on? Let me know, please. Kindly let me know. And of course, if you don't have any questions, please make a note of this email ID, care@edupristine.com. In case you have any questions later on, you are more than welcome to ask the same, please. More than welcome, guys. Okay, no questions. That means we are done for the evening, guys. Thanks a lot. And before we leave, again, I would like to congratulate you all for taking a very good step in the right direction. So good round of applause for you. Have a nice evening. Get set, absolutely ready, and register yourselves and don't delay, and start preparing, guys. Wish you all the best of luck. And I'm sure we'll kind of cross our paths and we'll definitely meet in one of the sessions in the upcoming batches. So take care, guys. See you soon. Have a nice evening. Best of luck. Cheers.